first in the league. We will look back on this and be like, the first in-season NBA Cup was in whatever 2023. Like we're gonna have to remember this is a chapter in history. And you look, everything LeBron has cachet. Not yet. A lot of people don't know they're in history when it's happening. I think a lot of people, we know that with LeBron's career, at least. We know that LeBron is someone who will be debated as a GOAT for a long time. We know he's a historic NBA figure, but I think it's the same way with this cup. Like, this is the first one now. Maybe you're not that into it, but you will be in like maybe 10, 15 years. That's my thing. That's why I say let Adam Silver cook just with supervision. Because look, okay, so play-in tournament. Play-in tournament. Were you a fan of the play-in tournament at first?
I genuinely, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't remember. So, like, I'm an old lady, so you got to forgive me. I genuinely don't remember. Like, I know that when I heard about this, I was just like, why are they making players play more games? It only ended up being one more game because we didn't know what it was going to be before it was actually done. So we just heard. So it was just like, yes, just what we need, like NBA players to play more games. So ultimately, when it came out to just be one game, like, you know, like to me, it's like if the players like it, I love it. You know, like I don't really care. It's not that I dislike it. It's just it doesn't move me. But I'm someone who watches the NBA year round. So that's what I'm saying. The measure for success is not getting me to get into it. It's are you getting other people excited? Are you increasing your ratings? Like it's always about can you incentivize the players enough to want to do it. I was skeptical that.
But you would admit that now the players are clearly
but they're locked in. 500K would motivate. I thought that would only be motivation for like the guys on the lower end of the bench, maybe not the stars. But you heard LeBron talking about he don't mind taking charges at his big age for
that 500K. So because LeBron, he's about that money. He would rub two pennies together. He's got a reputation in the league.
Like, come on, like seriously, what are we doing?
But no, you've heard kind of like the running joke in the league that he's very, very frugal. He doesn't spend money on trips. Like he doesn't, whatever. I'm not surprised that he's balling out for the 500K. That sounds like it fits the lore. You know, we have like Michael Jordan lore of like the type of person he was. Like that's LeBron James lore for sure. That he's frugal. So I think that makes sense. But like you were saying, the bar for success is not whether you're engaged. I think it's the players and like the more general audience. Obviously, we're going to watch no matter what. But it seems like now, overall, the players are passionate. Like you mentioned, LeBron's comments, like we're getting a lot of fireworks from it. So to me, that's a success. And then the viewership spike that you mentioned, it just the game that I was able to find the numbers for was the Warriors and Kings in-season tournament game like last week. That had 2 million viewers roughly, which was a 93% increase over a similar window previously. Like last season or whatever. So to me, that's
you're probably
impressive.
Not gonna like what I'm gonna say in response to that, and the Kings fans as well, because they think they're the reason why, like when they played the Warriors, like that series is so good. But that's about Stephen Curry. I'm sorry, it just is, So like if it was the Kings facing another team, the bump wouldn't have been that. Like we can be real about that. But
okay, but there's a way to credit both teams for that. The rivalry draws viewers. It's a good rivalry.
It's a rivalry. It's not a rivalry.
What do you call it? Okay.
Rivalries have two sides winning. It may become one day.
Jeez.
Not a rivalry. y'all just got that one game the other day. I'm sure. Cherish it. Be happy. I know you were probably, because you were on here talking about, I wish Steph Curry wouldn't be so great. So I'm sure you were delighted that night when they pulled off the comeback, right?
Right. We love to see it. But the fact is that matchup, Kings Warriors, continuously creates moments like that. I have seen an ungodly amount of clutch Steph Curry buckets against the Kings. So to me, if you don't want to call it a rivalry, it's a really good pairing. That's the best way to say it. There's a lot of shared history, all that. I think that's why the viewership is increased. Not just the Kings. Obviously, Steph Curry is a superstar. So that's why people are going to watch. But I think the Kings help for sure. For sure.
Any game that Steph Curry's in brings more ratings. You can check the data on that.
You know what? My Kings are going to have something. We couldn't have Hallie. We couldn't have the in-season tournament. We gotta have something, and it's their role in the pairing. That's good. That's all. That's all.
I hear you. I hear you. Listen to me. The Chuck said last night, I don't give a damn what they said about them fouls after the Lakers game the other night. This is what the NBA wanted, and I agree. So the script is scripting. They got they got what they wanted. They got their beloved, precious Lakers in there. And I want to say, because I know there was some commentary though, like, oh my God, like if we get a Bucks Pacers series, Nick Friedel, you know. And I think that, for one, because like the Bucks have Giannis, so like let's not act like there's just like no major star on that team. So I did think that was like a somewhat disrespectful comment to make.
Yeah.
And Halliburton's a rising star. He's capturing the imaginations of people right now. So I felt like that was like a little like rude to say. You know, I was messing with you about the Kings, but I loved De'Aaron Fox, and I really loved the comments that Mike Brown said when he was like, why isn't he being discussed in the MVP conversation? Why isn't, like, that's what your coach is supposed to do and advocate for you. But like, even last year, like he did make the All-Star. I think he was like a replacement, but I was like, I don't want to see any more replacements for him in this, like just straight up All-Star. He needs to make it. And I get it's very hard in the West. And, you know, like Steph and Luka are just going to have those spots no matter what. But like in terms of like starters and stuff like that. But I want to see, and you know, now Shea, who's also been in like MVP conversations. So it's going to be tough, but I don't want to see, well, I know he won't be because the Memphis Grizzlies suck this year, but I don't want to see, what's his name? Their so-called defensive player of the year. What?
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yes. I don't want to see no more Jaren Jackson of All-Stars appearances. I'm sorry. Like you give it to the guards. You know, you have Devin Booker, you have De'Aaron Fox, you have SGA, you have Steph, you have Luka. There's a lot of guards in the West. Give those wild cards and stuff to these players because they're putting on a show from you. And I just feel like De'Aaron Fox somehow always gets slighted. And I want to say, Kings fans, step your game up, because I used to see some of them votes and he wasn't getting enough votes. So I like De'Aaron Fox. Like, make sure there's no question about him, but he's having an incredible season. So I was just like messing with you, but just like I think Halliburton is. So like, don't undersell, you know, these young guys and these teams. And I think I'm sensitive to that because it was like that when Steph Star was rising, right? I mean, the Warriors were such a bum front franchise, and then he like raised it and you were like watching it. So you don't know, Halliburton may be the next thing. I think the Kings are the next thing. And I've said that many times. I'm like, the Grizzlies are coming. No, the Kings are coming. And I've been saying that. So, you know, I think that the league is in a good place and I love this. And go Pacers. I'm rooting for the Pacers.
You know,
the Lakers aren't going to hang the banner anyway. They're not going to hang the banner. They said that. So
they're not going to hang the banner, but LeBron wants that 500K and he wants it for his legacy, like I said. So I think that all signs in the script are pointing towards the Lakers win in the inaugural in-season tournament.
That's why the Indy upset's going to be great.
I mean, I would love to see it. You know, I'm part of the Hallie Hive, if that even exists. I might have just made it up, but I'm part of it. Like I'm rooting for him, seriously. And I think it's so funny how when you were talking about the Pacers Bucks matchup potentially, or I think you said Pacers Bucks, right? Being bad. And you didn't. Yeah, you mentioned
not my opinion.
Right, yeah, no, not your opinion. But you mentioned them having Giannis as a superstar. You didn't mention Damian Lillard, which I thought was funny because you don't count him as like part of the superstar of the team.
It's not just that, but I'm just saying like Giannis is like arguably the best player in the league. So, you know, it's like he's a superstar. No, I don't think Damian Lillard is the level of Giannis. So that's all I meant. Like, and Giannis is the face of the franchise. It wasn't like, they got a duo over there for sure.
Yeah, but I think that would have, like, the star power definitely was there, and I do hope the Pacers kind of won't take that discussion too much to heart. Like, obviously using it as motivation, but their head coach, you saw, he was saying, you know, nobody wanted us here after the victory, and it's like, well, let's not let's not say nobody wanted you there. Like there were people that wanted to see you.
That's how
Maybe
teens
one.
motivate themselves. Like even if it's not real, they take the slightest rub and that's what they do. It's what they do in sports. So anyway, you're right. We could keep talking about this longer, but we're not because we need to move to some other important topics. So we will be right back to get into some things with Shalise Manzi Young.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.